Hi students, today we deal with chapter 8 from the text Footprint Without Feet, titled The Hack Driver by Sinclair Lewis. Harry Sinclair Lewis was an American writer and playwright. He became the first writer from the US to receive the Nobel Prize in Literature. Now we move on to the story. The background of the story is written as this. A young lawyer comes to a village to serve summons on Oliver Lutkins. A friendly hack driver takes him round the village in search of Lutkins. Does he find him? Who is Lutkins? This is what we have to find out. So the background is that the narrator is a young lawyer and he is sent to the village to serve summons to the hero of the chapter, that is hero of the story, that is Oliver Lutkins. And he meets a very friendly hack driver. Hack driver is like a taxi driver who takes him round in search of Lutkins. So we will see whether he is able to find him. After graduating with honors, I became a junior assistant clerk in the magnificent law firm. After graduating with honors is a course of degree studying more specialized in one particular subject, that is honors. So after graduating with honors, the narrator became a junior assistant clerk in a magnificent law firm. Magnificent here, it means excellent. So he became a junior assistant clerk. I was sent not to prepare legal briefs, but to serve summons, like a cheap private detective. So that line tells us that he is not very happy with what he has been doing. He has graduated with honors and he was a junior assistant clerk. Now he is sent not to prepare legal briefs. Briefs means written legal documents. So, okay, he is ready to do all that, but he is not sent for that, but to serve summons, like a cheap private detective. The word cheap tells us that he doesn't consider that job as something which is dignified. I had to go to dirty and shadowy corners of the city to seek out my victims, to serve the summons. Understand? Shadowy means dark corners of the city. So it was a tedious job and not very, he was not happy about it. Why? We will know the reason. Some of the larger and more self-confident ones even bet me up. So he had to suffer even that. Some victims who were very strong, they even bet him up when he met them to serve the summons. I hated this unpleasant work and the side of city life it revealed to me. Both the things. One is maybe because he had to receive the beatings. Second is that that side of city life which he saw, it is because of this job, right? That the dark side of city life he had to witness, that he didn't like. He hated that. I even considered fleeing to my hometown, where I could have been a real lawyer right away without going through this unpleasant training period. So altogether, the first paragraph tells us that the narrator, who was a junior assistant clerk in a magnificent law firm, was not happy with what he was doing. He had a feeling inside that he could have gone to his hometown, where he could have been a real lawyer right away, where he didn't have to undergo this training period. So he rejoiced one day when they sent me out 40 miles in the country to a town called New Mullion to serve summons on a man called Oliver Lutkins. We needed this man as a witness in a law case, and yet ignored all our letters. So that is the reason why he was sent. If you get a question, why he was sent to New Mullion? To serve summons on a man named Oliver Lutkins. And this man was a witness in a law case, but he had not responded to their letters. So the law firm, they have planned to send one person in search of him. And thus the narrator was sent. And the narrator was very happy to go to the village area. When I got to New Mullion, my eager expectations of a sweet and simple country village was severely disappointed. So when he was given the order that you go to New Mullion and serve summons to Oliver Lutkins, initial reaction was he rejoiced. He was so happy. Oh, village. Oh, I can enjoy. He expected a very sweet and simple country village. He might not have to face the dark side as he had mentioned earlier. But when he went there, he was severely disappointed. Its streets were rivers of mud with rows of wooden shops, either painted a sore brown or bare of any paint at all. The only agreeable sight about the place was the delivery man at the station. He was about 40, red-faced, cheerful, and thick about the middle. Thick about the middle means fat around the waist part. A delivery man, he could see a delivery man there. That person was the only agreeable sight. His working clothes were dirty and well worn, and he had a friendly manner. You felt at once that he liked people. From his appearance, you could make out that he liked people. And that was the only agreeable sight in New Mullion when he reached there. So this is his first impression about the delivery man. I told him, to find a man named Oliver Lutkins. Lutkins? I saw him around here about an hour ago. Hard fellow to catch though. Always up to something or other. He's probably trying to start up a poker game in the back of Fritz's shop. I'll tell you, boy, is there any hurry about locating Lutkins? So he just asked the delivery man. I came here because he's a total stranger to that place. He said that naturally when you are new to a place, you may inquire with somebody, right? So yes, I came here to find one person by name Oliver Lutkins. And this is how he responded. Lutkins? Yes, I saw him here about an hour ago. And he gives his assessment that he's a very hard fellow to catch. Very difficult. Every time, always up to something or other. And he would be trying to start up a poker game. It's a card game in the back of Fritz's shop. And he's asking, are you in a hurry about locating Lutkins? Yes, I want to catch the afternoon train back to the city. I was very important and secret about it. He has come there to serve summons. That he didn't say. That is why it is said secret. He didn't say that. He said that yes, I have to go back by afternoon train. I'll tell you what. I've got a hack. It's the vehicle. I'll get it out and we can drive around together and find Lutkins. I know most of the place he hangs out. He was so open and friendly that I glowed with the warmth of his affection. I knew, of course, that he wanted the business, but his kindness was real. Why does he say that? I knew, of course, that he wanted the business because he offered that I will take my hat. So naturally, he will get the pay for that. So that business minded, before he decides to call another person, he says that he offers, I will take it, we will go, I will come with you. So he'll get some money out of that. But he says that, but his kindness was real. I was glad the fair money would go to this good fellow. So that is what the narrator thought. Anyway, we'll have to get the help of a hack driver. So it's better that this person is very kind at heart. So let it go to this person. I managed to bargain down to $2 an hour. And then he brought from his house nearby a sort of large black box on wheels. He remarked, well, young man, here is the carriage. And his wide smile made me into an old friend. What do you mean to an old friend? That is, it didn't seem that they had met only a few minutes back. It was as though they were friends. These villagers are so ready to help a stranger. He had already made it his own task to find Oliver Lutkins for me. So this is what the narrator thought. So why does he say these villagers? From one representative, he guesses that, look at these villagers, so simple. They are ready to help a stranger. Will this ever happen in city? That is what he thinks. And he has made it his own task, not even helping. It is his task to find Oliver Lutkins now, the hack drivers. He said, I don't want to interfere, young fellow, but my guess is that you want to collect some money from Lutkins. He never pays anybody a cent. Cent is a monetary unit equal to 1/100th of a dollar, okay? He still owes me 50 cents on a poker game. I was fool enough to play with him. He is not really bad, but it is hard to make him part with his money. If you try to collect from him in those fancy clothes, he will be suspicious and get away from you. If you want, I will go into Fritz and ask for him, and you can keep out of sight behind me. So he starts the conversation. He says that I don't want to interfere in your affair, but my guess is that you want to collect some money from him. He has done that to me also. He still owes me 50 cents. Now, if he sees you in this fancy clothes, he will be suspicious that you have come for the purpose. So it's better that I will go into front shop and ask for him, and you can keep out of sight behind me. I loved him for this. Why? So thoughtful, right? That's why he said earlier that now it is his task to find Oliver Lutkins. So thoughtful of him to say that you don't ask, I will ask, you hide behind me. By myself, I might never have found Lutkins. With the hack driver's knowing help, I was sure of getting my man. I took him into my confidence. Took him into my confidence means take somebody into one's confidence is telling a secret. Till that moment, you would have thought that you will not tell, but when you understand how that person is very simple, he will not tell others. You take him into confidence and says like that. Here, the narrator reveals his purpose of visit. I took him into my confidence and told him that I wanted to serve the summons on Lutkins, that the man had refused to be a witness when his information would have quickly settled our case. The driver listened earnestly. At the end, he hit me on the shoulder and laughed. Well, we will give the brother Lutkins a little surprise. Let's start, driver. Most folks around here call me Bill or Magnuson. My business is called William Magnuson Fancy Carting and Hacking. All right, Bill, shall we proceed to Fritz? Yes, Lutkins is just as likely to be there as anywhere. Plays a lot of poker. He's good at deceiving people. Bill seemed to admire Lutkins' talent for dishonesty. That is what the narrator felt when he said that he is good at deceiving people and all, that he admires him for that. I felt that if he had been a policeman, he would have caught Lutkins respectfully and jailed him with regret. Because the way he spoke about Oliver Lutkins, it seemed that he admired him. Understand? That's why he says that if he was a policeman, he would have caught him because he was intelligent, and after jailing him, he would have regretted that. Bill let me into Fritz. Have you seen Oliver Lutkins around today? Friend of us looking for him, said Bill cheerily. Fritz looked at me, hiding behind Bill. He hesitated and then admitted, yes, he was in here a little while ago. Guess he's gone over to Gustav's to get a shave. Well, if he comes in, tell him I'm looking for him. We drove to Gustav's barber shop. Again, Bill went in first and I lingered at the door. Lingered means just stayed there, didn't go inside. He asked not only the Swede, but two customers if they had seen Lutkins. Swede is a native of Sweden. So the naturally Gustav would have been a native of Sweden. The Swede had not. He said angrily, I haven't seen him and don't care to. But if you find him, you can just collect the $1.35 he owes me. So from this, the narrator is getting impression that Bill already told him that he owes him 50 cents. Now Gustav says that he owes me $35. One of the customers thought he had seen Lutkins walking down the main street, this side of the hotel. As we climbed back into the hack, Bill concluded that since Lutkins had exhausted his credit at Gustav's, he had probably gone to Gray's for a shave. Why does he say that? Since Lutkins had exhausted his credit, that he still owes him, right? So naturally he would have stopped coming here, he would have gone to another place. At Gray's barber shop, we missed Lutkins by only 5 minutes. He had just left, probably for the pool room. At the pool room, it appeared that he had just bought a pack of cigarettes and gone out. So we pursued him. Pursued him means followed him. Just behind him, but never catching him. For an hour till it was past 1 o'clock. So this is how they proceeded. Wherever they went, they came to know that he was just there a minute ago or 10 minutes ago. So they were behind him, but they were never able to catch him. Like that, 1 hour almost passed, and it was soon 1 o'clock. I was hungry, but I had so enjoyed Bill's rough country opinions about his neighbors that I scarcely cared whether I found Lutkins or not. Look at that. What was his purpose of visit? To serve summons to Oliver Lutkins. Now, the way he says that I enjoyed listening to Bill, his comments on his neighbors and all. I never cared whether I found Lutkins or not. That was the condition. He started liking that hack driver so much, his company, so he started enjoying it so much. How about something to eat? I suggested. Let's go to a restaurant and I'll buy you lunch. Well, I ought to go home to the wife. I don't care much for these restaurants. Only 4 of them and they are all bad. Tell you what we will do. We'll get the wife to pack up a lunch for us. She won't charge you more than $50, and it would cost you more for a greasy meal in a restaurant. And we'll go up to Wade's Hill and enjoy the view while we eat. Okay, we'll stop there here. Continue in the second audio. Thank you, children.